Look at that. Perfect, perfect. Come on in. By the way, that coffee is old. I would not drink it unless you want to warm it up. I didn't bring it. Wendy brought it last time. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you did? Oh, nice. Yeah? How's the inside? Is it like nice inside? Okay. Cause they're they're that busy or they're just not fast. Okay. Huh.
We need to fix the volume.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. All right, we're gonna get started. Um, like Mondo says, section 16, session 16, work with buyers and sellers. Um, we're going to run through this one pretty quick. I'm going to touch on some points that matter. We're going to fly through some that maybe a lot of us already know. But if you have any questions within any of this, just raise your hand, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer it for you guys. Okay. What is it? Real estate expert, fuck your career, job. I don't think this is the right one. Oh, hold on. There we go. Yep, working with buyers and sellers. Okay, so today we're going to go over success with clients, buyers, sellers, agents, and then recap on what we learned today and also throughout the entire sessions of Ignite. All right, we're getting close to the end. Who wants to read this for me?
Virtually every top producing agent we will ever work with has a deep and almost inherent sense of service. They have a servant's heart and place their buyers or sellers' real estate experience above all else. They are always thinking service.
Right, so my favorite word in there is experience, right? So experience is. So like what do we offer our clients, right? Because we offer them experiences. Like we have to make it something that they can enjoy and they feel comfortable with. So if we give them the right experience, they're going to love us and they're going to use us again and refer us, right? All right, so communication is very, very important when it comes to working with buyers and sellers. So if we don't communicate in the proper way, people get confused. Look, our clients do not do this every day like we do. And so they don't know the processes, right? So clear communication is always key when we're working with our clients. All right, 3 levels of service we provide is purpose, right? So purpose, what are we doing this for? Why are we in real estate? Why are we doing this? And it's not just for the money, right? I hope not. Like the money is the benefit. The purpose is to help our clients, right? We get to change people's lives. We get to change and make their dreams come true. We get to do that. And I think that's a lot of times we forget that, especially when we start getting busy and we start getting a lot of transactions. A lot of agents will forget the purpose of what they're doing this for. And it's hard sometimes because we get overwhelmed. We get busy. We don't have time to give our full value to our clients. And I always try to have agents remember, like, hey, remember why you're doing this. Why you wanted to get into real estate. Why did you want to get in real estate?
To help people.
To help people, right? Right? Make money, help people. I mean, obviously we want something for ourselves too besides helping people, but the feeling we get when we get to help someone, who here has sold someone their first house? Okay. Yeah, so you sold someone their first house, their very first house. How did that make you feel?
Oh, it's great. I thought, oh, I can do this.
Yeah, when you handed them their keys and they were so happy that they got their very first house, like that's what I did it for. That's why I was in the business. And even though we go through a lot of hard times, this job is not easy. It's not easy for time, emotionally. We take from our family sometimes. We have to miss events. We have to miss school events. We have to miss being there with our loved ones sometimes in order to provide the value and our purposeful meaning for our clients, right? And that's what it takes. And sometimes it's hard. It's real hard. You know, missing dinners when you have it planned. Like, hey, can't make it tonight, I have another showing. Or, hey, I have a listing presentation. but it's part of the job. So real estate is not a job, it's a lifestyle. Real estate is a lifestyle. And you know, when you first get into real estate, you don't recognize that at first. But always, if you have a spouse or a loved one or a family, like try to be mindful of them too, because it does take effect on them. And we have to remember that. Okay? So value proposition. So what are we giving to the clients? You know, not just our purpose, but what are we giving them? Like
Fulfilling their dream.
Fulfilling their dream, yeah. And so like that's our value. Our value is to fulfill someone's dream, to help them answer questions and have knowledge of what's happening in the market and how we do business. I can't tell you guys how many times I've worked with agents that have no clue what they're doing. No clue. And that's okay if they're trying to know what they're trying to do, but most of them have been in the business 3 or 4 years and have done 10 transactions, and they don't know anything. Because what they do is they rely on their transaction coordinator, and they rely on everybody else around them to make the job happen. And I did that too at first. I'm not gonna lie. When I first got into real estate, I didn't know anything. We don't, right? We take our test, we learn what's on the test, and then none of that is real life. Like none of it's real life. It's completely different business from what you learn on your real estate exam. Sure. And so, you know, going forward, it's you know.
Why is there not a...
So,
They don't have the support we have.
yeah, they don't. But
I studied for so long, and when I took the test, I was like, wow, none of this was on. That's crazy.
I know, and that's how it goes, right? Like, you know, we take the test because here's the thing, with the state of California or any state, we need to know the laws, right? And, you know, like some of the stuff they ask on the test is like just crazy, right? It's like if so-and-so had to pave a road and it was 10 feet difference, I think they took math out, but when I took it, they still had math in, which was really hard, for me at least. And so like if he had 10 feet this way and 20 feet that way, but the neighbor's property line was here and you have to subtract 2 feet from each one, how many square feet does he have to pave? And I'm like, what? Like, why do I have to know this? That doesn't seem like my problem, right? So moving forward with that is we learn how to pass a test. And that's what it is. When we go to school to get our real estate license, we learn how to pass the test. Our real training starts when you get your license. Because like I said, nothing that goes along with the test really very, very rarely comes up in your day-to-day life in real estate, right? So what value are we going to bring our clients? Knowing what we're doing, right? Going to the trainings, knowing your market, knowing the contracts, and knowing how to navigate through them. Because I've seen a lot of people make some bad deals because they're working with the wrong agent, right? The agent didn't have the know-how to negotiate the right deal for them. And I've been on the other side negotiating the right deal for my clients, and the other agent just gives it up. Doesn't even fight for them.
No.
And like, man, I would have done way different if you would have just said no. If you would have said no to me, I would have been like, okay, we'll go with the original deal. But you have to ask, right? So negotiating the best value for your clients is something that we all have to learn and be better at and practice every single day. Okay, fiduciary, that word in the test, we don't use it in day to day, but can anybody tell me what that means?
That means trust, integrity.
Yep, doing the right thing, making sure our clients come first. No matter what, we're going to do whatever's best for them, right? We are going to do whatever we can to make sure that we give the best value, the best purpose that we can to our clients. You know, we're not doing it for us, we're doing it for them, right?
You can't lose where your loyalty is.
Yep, exactly.
And there's a lot of legal responsibilities there too, to protect them and protect yourself.
Exactly,
But, yeah.
100%. Okay, so functionary. Does anybody know what that means? If you're a functionary agent compared to a fiduciary agent.
You're doing the bare minimum.
Bare minimum, right? A functionary, hey, I'm going to go show a house, I'm going to open the door. That's a function of real estate, right? I'm going to go open a door, but I'm not giving them the value, right? I'm opening the door, hey, this is the house, go on in, take a look around.
Yeah.
I'm not asking them what they want, what they need, where they want to be. I'm just there. I have my license. I'm there. I know how to open up a lockbox, and I open the door for them. We're not giving them what they need, right? Or what we should be giving. Okay, so dual agency. This one's a tricky one because it goes back to fiduciary, right? A lot of people say that you cannot be a fiduciary agent and also do dual agency. How can we do that, right? How can we give our clients, our buyer, everything that we can to get them the best deal, but also represent the seller, right? Well, a lot of brokers won't even allow this because there's a lot of things that go along with it. There's a lot of violations that could be crossed. And so we allow it.
Do we allow it here?
We do, yes. If you have any concerns with that, talk to me, talk to Wendy. I would say if you could, try not to. But if they absolutely want to work with you, do it. Like we allow it, but just make sure that you have everything documented and you do the fiduciary duty at the best you can to both parties, right? Because that's the problem we're going to see, right? How can you negotiate the best deal for you when I'm trying to negotiate the best deal for you and I'm representing both, right? And where that comes into play is, you know, making sure we understand both clients' needs and wants, right? Because if we can all agree on something, it's not a problem. But if there is a problem, it gets really tricky because now that your buyer is coming to you, your seller is coming to you, and how do you negotiate that, right? You know what's right, you know what's wrong, but how do we negotiate that? So that one's a tricky one. What's the benefits of dual agency?
Your commissions could be potentially doubled.
Yeah, commissions can be doubled, right? You're working on both sides. So now you're getting both sides of the transaction.
And you can also lower your prescription or your commission a little bit.
You can
Instead
lower
of
it.
being 6% total.
Yep.
If it helps both parties, except maybe 5%.
Yeah.
Not saying that you're not worth the full 6%. But
Right, but you have some more leadway now, right?
you have a little bit more
Because now I'm not just making 2% or 3%, I'm making 5%. So hey, I'm doing still pretty good, right? I'm going to make a big check, and I can help them out too, right? So we can give back more to our clients by doing dual agency. We can make more money by doing dual agency, and we can possibly even negotiate a better deal within your buyer and your seller because you have that
double-ended relationship.
relationship with both of them, right? And so, you know, you can go to one and say, hey, look, I know like this and this and this, but we have to be very careful with it because I can't go to the buyer and say, hey, I know the seller's going to take 480. You know, like I can't do that.
You can't give up the other party's negotiating position.
Exactly.
Their strategy.
Exactly. So, and that's the thing. If you get in this situation, be very careful how you approach it. If you need any help or advice, me, Wendy, Thomas, Iman, anybody can help you with it. Just be mindful of what you say to them because sometimes it's easy to slip up. You know, sometimes, and a lot of times, hey, we just want the deal to go through, right? Like, hey, like mortgage is due. I need a check. I need an escrow. Like, I need this deal to happen, and I can have the power and the knowledge to make that deal happen, but we have to make sure we do it right. We have to make sure we do it for the right reasons. And if it doesn't happen, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So if you look at it, you don't know the other side's strategy either way.
Right.
If you're solo agent for your one party, you don't have a visual to what their needs are regarding what their net needs to be.
Exactly.
So you might be strategizing with your client blindly.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying you need to know what the strategy is, but it's possible that you, as the mediary, you can come to a fair if you understand both sides.
Exactly.
Without giving up each other's side.
100%.
Because you have to approach it as if you don't know it, just like you would if you were just
And that's 100% true. And
you do have that inside information.
you have that inside information. So you can push and pull a little bit. Yeah, you can push and pull a little bit on the negotiations, right? Like, hey, like, you know, I think that, you know, it might be a good idea to do this. You know, something like that. But
regarding the price, you can't.
you cannot, yeah. Okay, moving on from dual agency. set expectations, you know. So going into working with a buyer, and we'll get to sellers after this, but working with a buyer, let them know like what they're going to expect moving forward in this transaction. You know, from from us showing homes to writing contracts to timelines. You know, let them know up front what it's going to look like. You know, and give them a path, because these buyers, like I said before, they don't do this every day. They might buy one or two, maybe three or four houses in their entire lives. And so when we let them know what's expected from the transaction or from us, they feel a lot more comfortable. They're not as panicky, because a lot of times, these buyers, they panic. You know, it's a big purchase. It's the biggest thing in their lives. You know, this is the biggest purchase most of the time in a lot of people's lives, as buying a home. And if we can't guide them in the right way, then we shouldn't be helping them.
It involves a lot of education.
A lot of
Very
education.
beginning, not only together with the expectation, but the process,
Yes.
so that they know what would be next.
Yep. And we'll get into that here in a second. But what I used to do when I worked with buyers was I printed them out a sheet. I said, this is one step, second step, third step. And you know, it might kind of all jumbled together at some times, but this is kind of what we're looking at. This is this graph of the transaction, right? This is what we're going to expect from the transaction to be. And of course, there's always hiccups. There's always things that go backwards and forwards, and this might happen first, and that might not happen, and you know, so we just have to communicate with them. So, good morning. So, you know, from like something like
Good
this,
morning. Morning.
something like this is, you know, partner with an agent, get them pre-approved for a loan, find, you know, find a search criteria that you know works for them. Listen to them, because here's the problem that a lot of us don't do, is we don't listen to the concerns of our buyers. And if we really pay attention, write down what they're saying. What are you looking for in a home? I just want a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right? Like, okay, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. What's important to you about a 2-bedroom, 2-bath? Well, you know, I want an office and we have a kid. Okay, so you want an office, must work from home, boom, boom, boom. And what else are you looking for in a home? Is a backyard a factor? Yeah, I mean, not really. We don't really go outside much. I mean, it would be nice to have RV parking, you know, or fifth wheel parking or whatever it is, you know. So, okay, fifth wheel parking. So when you go to search for these homes, make sure you include all that. You know, we want to show homes with purpose. We want to show homes, like, just not because we're out there showing homes, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to drive around all day showing homes if they're not interested in them. So always make sure that we listen to our clients, get the best knowledge that we can from them, and then that way we can give them the best value, right? I'm not going to go show someone a 5-bedroom house, if they only wanted 3 bedrooms, you know, and maybe they do want 5, or maybe it's the opposite, right? I'm not going to show someone that wants 5 bedrooms a 3-bedroom home, you know, and it happens sometimes on accident. Like, if I've done it before, back in the day, guys, where I've pulled up to a house, I thought it was a 4-bedroom, it was a 3-bedroom, and I walk in, and I'm like, where's the other bedroom? Where's the other bedroom? Like, scared. I'm like, oh no, like, where's this other, like, there's no other bedroom. They're like, where's the 4th bedroom? I'm like, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I thought this was a 4-bedroom. I was looking at a lot of homes, and I messed up. And
An MLS that was misrepresented.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Blame it on the MLS.
Yeah, you could blame it on the MLS, yeah.
A lot of MLSs will say there's a 4th bedroom, even though the 4th one is the flex room. And
They
they're not
do.
supposed to. That happens all
They
the
do it
time.
all the time, so always be careful.
Represented like it should.
Always be careful when that happens. That's a good point, because either a flex room, or like in Florida we call them sunrooms, like Florida sunrooms,
Yep.
and technically it's not a bedroom.
It's not a bedroom.
You can convert it into one, but what does it take to have a bedroom?
So window, closet.
A window and a closet, right?
Closet and what else?
A window. A window. I don't know if that's true. I heard now that you don't have to have a window, but
It's like dungeon.
yeah, it's dungeon vibes. I don't know about that, but you know, if you like the
Clients are
darkness,
smart. Clients are smart. They're gonna notice that too.
they're gonna notice it too. Yeah.
First things they notice
And if we go in there telling them like, hey, this is 4-bedroom, blah, 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 and it's 4-bedroom, right? Like, they're gonna be like, this isn't what we want. And they're gonna get frustrated with you. So it's important to know what you're showing them. Do the research. We're gonna get into a little bit. Do the research on it though. Make sure you know the property. And it's true. Like, I've done it. I've done all the wrong things in my career. And it's hard because sometimes we get busy. And they say, hey, can we see homes today in 2 hours? And you're like, no, but I'm not going to say no. You know, yes, you can. Let me do some research, and I'm just trying to find homes that are vacant. You know, go and show, you know, like just anything I can get into to show them homes so I'm, you know, giving them something. But it's the wrong thing to do because I was showing them homes that they didn't want to see. But I was just trying to keep the client. I'm like, hey, I'm just going to throw all this stuff out here. Whoever responds back to let me see the house, that's the house I'm showing them. Didn't know anything about the house, didn't even know where it was, and, you know, it was a mess. And they walk in and say, oh, this is terrible, man. Like, what are you doing? What are you showing me this house for? I'm like, oh, well, you know.
We can tell them that, you know, we haven't previewed it. I'm just going by what's in the listing.
Right.
So we'll see what we got.
And that's typically the case, right? We don't get to see every house, right? But we can do the research, right? So we can look on the MLS, we can look at the photos and hone in on the key features, right? Like bedrooms and bathrooms and pool and solar and, you know, everything like that we can factor in. But if we just go out there blindly, and sometimes it happens, guys. Look, how many times have I been out there and I show my client 4 homes and then they say, hey, we just found this home on Zillow. Can we see this too? And I'm scrambling. You know, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't even know where this house is. What it is it? I'm trying to get on the MLS on my phone, trying to make the appointment. And we get there and I don't know anything about it. Like, I've never seen this house. I've never even looked at it. I'm just barely trying to get the directions so we can get there. And so that's another thing, like, you know, say, hey, look, guys, this one just popped up. I don't have any information. I don't have an MLS sheet on it. Let's take a look and see how we like it, right?
It's okay to call the agent. That was kind of a nice thing. I hate to say this, but it's nice to Zillow Redfin.
Uh-huh.
They will have they're better at listing who the listing agents are.
Right.
At first, they were kind of like, oh, you have an agent to help you? Call me.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the Redfin agent. But
Yep.
they're better at putting upfront the actual listing agent information, which is good.
Right.
So I call them. And if the phone number's not there, I will copy paste it in Google, and I will find that agent, and I'll ask the agent to send me the MLS sheet. They'll do it for you. It just
Right.
takes time.
Yeah, 100%.
Takes time.
And that's the right thing to do, right? Like, we just don't want to just go in there blindly. So if you can get the information, get the information, right? Even if you just have the MLS sheet as you're walking in, you know, like, that's better than not having it. Because you can revert back to that. You can say, oh, you know, is this a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom? Like, oh, it's 3-bedroom, you know, and kind of play it off that way. It's going to happen, guys. We're not perfect. But we want to be as much prepared as we can be in every situation.
Mistakes is part of the
It's 100%. The great thing about mistakes is the buyers usually don't notice them because they don't know either. So if you can play it off in a lot of ways as long as we're doing the right thing for our clients. All right. Also time, right? Buyers don't know what time frames are when it comes to purchasing a home. So, you know, they don't know. They might know, hey, it might take 30 days to close. That's typically what people think. The biggest thing is, when do they need to have their deposit in? When are the inspections going to be made? When are, the appraisal going to be done? All these things we have to set their time expectations for, right? They need to know it kind of goes back to the layout of the transaction, right? Like, hey, this is how the transaction is going to go. By the way, when we make an offer, it usually takes a day, 2 days, 3 days for the seller to respond to us. Just wanted to let you guys know that up front. That way you're not worried, because what's going to happen is they're going to make an offer and they're going to be calling you. Hey, you hear back? Hey, you hear back? Hey, you hear back? Nothing yet. I'll give you a call when I hear something. We don't have that control. It's up to the sellers and to the seller agent to provide that. So, you know, letting them know how the transaction goes, what timing is expected, you know, in a general kind of sense is like, you know, typically it takes this long, typically within 17 days, typically within this, typically within that. That's how we approach it, because now in their head, they're like, oh, okay, well, he did say 3 days, You know, like, let's not panic. You know, we really want the house, but let's not panic. He did say 3 days.
You can revise it. You can always extend it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's expirations on the offers. There's a 17-day typically for the contingency.
Exactly.
My last one, I did have to extend the contingencies out.
Something that I learned way in the get-go, I've been licensed since '03, was when I had a buyer and they wanted a house. As long as the comps look good, and we would go up on the price and we'd want to know in 24 hours instead of 72. And
Right.
many times it worked really well that way.
Right, exactly. That's a great point. You can always you know, ask for them to perform quicker, right? So like, hey, we're gonna go up, but you guys have to make it happen, right? And so thank you for sharing that. All right.
Is there a cheat sheet on these timelines if you've never sold them?
Yes.
Pre-prepared.
Yeah, we can get you something. It's pretty standard, you know, with a lot of it. You know, obviously with getting your offer accepted or hearing back from the listing agent, you know, it's kind of up to them. Sometimes I'd say, hey, we're going to review all offers next week on Wednesday at 9 a.m. You know, we'll let you know.
There are checklists out there. If you have a mentor, ask your mentor the checklist.
Mm-hmm.
There might be some standard checklists. Steve Sanchez Torres has a checklist that he found with our checklist with like dates, like the time period, like that by day 3,
Yep.
make sure they have this. By day 10, make sure they have TDS.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm gonna do. I'm creating a checklist for myself. It's gonna be dynamic because it's an if-then. Because I have a manufactured home right now, and it's not just the regular.
What were you saying earlier?
The manufactured TDS.
I said I didn't understand you earlier. You were trying to say something at the clock. I mean, at your charting. I'm like,
Give me 1 second. I'm going to put a mic out in the room.
remember when a physical therapist was here? And he came out the room and you said,
Can you mute yourself?
You're not on mute. I had a full-blown argument.
She's over here working at the hospital. Okay, guys.
hey, I wanted to say something to you guys too. That's probably why I unmuted myself.
Oh.
Because I work at the hospital and we have a lot of new grads that come in with inexperience, right?
Right.
And so they're learning what they learn in school. But what they learn in school is not going to save your life.
Right.
It's the experience that's going to save your life.
100%.
So I just wanted to say that.
No, and you know, she's right, because that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, is like, you know, learning what's on the test is one thing. Getting into real estate and selling a house is something else, right? So it's completely different. And you know, I wish it was different, but look, it's so much to learn in real estate. I still learn every day. I'm learning every day. I've been doing this for 15 years.
So when George Perez was teaching classes, he would every once in a while put a sprinkling of, hey, go ahead and read the contracts.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, we do really need to read and understand the contracts.
Right. Contract, especially in California.
They're extremely important. By the way, contract class is extremely important.
It is, and I suggest all you guys do it. I need to do it again too.
And you have agents that are waiting for you to mess up.
Yeah, and guess what? Things change every day.
Yeah.
Contracts change every day, as we all know.
Yeah.
The contracts change.
Yeah.
And so we finally get it down. We're like, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing. I can fill out a contract and feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
And then they change something. I was like, oh, you need this.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean I need that? What the heck is that?
Wendy is really good at catching the changes.
Yes.
She redlines them so that we see them in class.
Yep,
Which
good.
means even very experienced agents need to come in and see that.
Yes.
Because she's talking about items that change that have specific ways of dealing with them, and then the reason behind the scenario. So there's lots of agents that may not know that, and they might mess up.
Well, it's like even
result.
the most experienced agents, if they're not in the loop, they don't know the changes, right? And they think they know everything, and they know a lot, right? But they don't know everything because new stuff. And so, like the new disclosure for testing walls, right? For third-hand smoke or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
you have to disclose if anybody's vaped in the house, right? And they can test the walls. They have a wipe now. They can
Seriously?
test the walls. Yes, seriously. So if you know that someone was vaping in the house, you have to disclose it. Crazy,
Wow.
right? third hand smoke is what they call it.
She just came out, they just approved.
Yep,
Wow.
it just came out. Also,
I'm kind of glad vaping's
also
worse.
too, like coming soon, you know, they're going to be getting rid of gas and stuff like that. So a lot of things are going to go electric, and so there's a lot of things that are going to play into that too. So keep your eye out for anything. Yep. Yep. At the Gavar meeting, yeah. What were they saying about that? Like by 2028 or something? 2030. Okay, by 20.
A lot of things can happen between now and.
That's 100%. Yeah.
Hoping, because I love my gas.
Yeah.
So that you add value to a contract negotiation if you discuss address the stoves.
Yes.
If you don't want, because if you know you're going to buy electric stove,
Yep.
you may not want the seller of the home keep their gas stove in the house.
Right.
Might as well let them do the dirty work of moving it.
Exactly.
You can negotiate that in a classy way. Be like, hey, no, you guys keep the stove. Go for it.
Yeah. Like, hey, you know what? Moving forward, the laws are changing, and we don't want to have to go buy a stove in 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, like you guys handle that now, and that's part of the contract, right? That's part of your negotiations if you want that.
Especially if you're negotiating new construction.
Right.
All stoves have to be electric.
By 2030, yeah.
Yeah.
By 2030.
It's just 4 years away.
Doing it, right?
Yeah, the new builds will probably start putting that into their construction plans.
You won't have gas.
No, you won't have
No.
gas, which I don't mind. I loved my gas when I was in California. When I went to Florida, no gas at all, anywhere.
Really?
Everything's electric. And I was like, I hate these stupid electric things, you know, like, yeah, like you turn it off and it's blazing hot, but you can't tell,
Yeah.
right? And it
takes
stays
forever
hot
to
for
cool
so
down.
long, and it's like a little tiny red light on the stove telling you it's hot. You're like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna see that. And that, you know, if you have cats or animals, stuff like that, they can jump up there, burn themselves. Obviously, you know, the same thing with the gas is, you know, but I feel like the gas cools down a lot quicker. So, but yeah, I got used to the electric. It wasn't a big deal after a while, but at first I hated it. I was like, oh, I can't cook on this. Like, it's weird, right? So set document expectations as well. So, you know, kind of going back to what we were talking about, you know, make sure they know what documents are what they're signing, and how it's going to work. You know, hey, by the way, boom, 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 right? This is what we have to plan for. Okay, communication, we kind of went over that. Make sure that they know how the process works. You know, let them know time frames, let them know, you know, your purpose and what you're going to accomplish for them as well. Okay, set contingencies. So, there's an old saying or joke, I don't know which one it is, but if you want a deal, go out of town. Go on vacation. Because every time you go on vacation, something comes up. Guaranteed. You'll sit there and be like, I have nothing going on. It's the perfect time. I have no escrows. You book your trip, and all of a sudden you have a listing, right? Or a buyer. It always happens. So make sure you set contingencies for when you're out of town, out of the office, or whatever you want to do. Make sure you have a partner that you can go to, or your mentor, or even if you have to show a home, you know, find a couple agents that you can talk to and be like, hey, I'm going out of town this week. I might have a showing coming up. Would you be willing to show the property for me? Just open the door for me, right? I'll give you $50 or whatever the going rate is now. I don't know what it is. But you can do that, right? Make sure you have a group of people that you can go to if you are out of the office and say, hey, I need a favor from you. The good thing about Keller Williams is we're a family here, and you can pretty much go to anybody. You know, anybody who has a license can go open up the door. And sometimes, yeah, I'm not going to get into it. Never mind. Okay, so just make sure you guys have a good surrounding couple of agents that you can go to if you need them. And I'm sure they'll be more than happy to go pop a door open for you real quick. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy to say, hey man, I just want them to see this house. I'm out of town. I'll be back Wednesday to handle everything else. I just need you to open the door. Or whatever it is you need from them, right? So we also have to keep our clients up to date on the market. A lot of times, when it comes to, especially with sellers, right? With sellers, the problem is market changes. And so, hey, we're going to price your home at this price. What we're seeing at the moment is homes sitting on the market for 30 to 60 days, right? Well, things change. So if you know that they're going to be longer than that, and homes have been sitting, sorry guys, homes have been sitting longer, let's say it's been on the market for 60 days, and you haven't given them an update. You know, like, hey, what's going on with my house? It's been on the market 60 days. You said 60 days. Well, yeah, actually now we're starting to see more 90 days, right? You want to do that before they call you out on it. Give them a call and say, hey, just wanted to let you know that homes kind of slowed down. It's kind of a weird market right now. You're still in good hands. Don't worry about it. But I just wanted to let you know that we are seeing a little bit longer to get homes sold. You know, that's all. That's it. Just make sure that they know. Keep in contact with them about the market changing. And again, with buyers, interest rates, right? Hey, interest rates are going up or going down. Just to let you know, inventory is actually lower than it was last month. Why should you buy now, right? So that's the thing, is we got to make sure we communicate with our people. Okay. You know, get them involved in your technology. It makes life so much easier, guys. Like, what I used to do was I used to have the MLS, you know, and I would just put them on a drip, right? So any new home that hit the market, they would get an email or a text. You know, if it's in their criteria, it would go out to them right away. As soon as they hit the market, it would send it to them. And there's a way to set that up. I'm pretty sure in Flex there's a way to do that. And so you don't have to worry, right? You don't have to worry about it. The problem with that is they get a lot of text messages or emails with homes that you don't know what you sent. And they say, hey, can we see that one property? And you're like, yeah, remind me of which one that was again? And then you kind of have to go back in the MLS, like, okay, 123 Banana Street. Okay, perfect, it's vacant, we can go see it tomorrow, right? But use your technology. Use what we give you guys to make your life easier. Like even the KW app, right? Like you can share your app with your clients. The great thing about that is you can see everything they're doing. So it's better than sharing it off the MLS because now you can see what they're looking at. You can see how many times they clicked on it. You can see everything they do on that app. It will alert you. So now you can be like, hey, just wanted to let you know, I saw that you're looking at, 123, whatever street. Just wanted to let you know, I just saw a price drop in that. Would you like to see it? So it's a way to re-engage with your clients.
They can even ask you to see a FISBO.
Yeah.
I did one.
Oh, really?
Rosamond.
FISBOs are
And
tricky.
That one was fun, but I was able to get a lot of money out of him for my clients.
Yeah.
So
So you sold it?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually he had it because in Rosamond the FHA loans are not ban.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yep.
had it about $20,000 higher on the market.
Ooh.
And so when I made my offer, I did tell him because I called him and he said, yeah, come on over to show it. So I showed it. They liked it immediately.
Nice.
And so I said, well, we're going to make you an offer, but, whatever. So I did it $20,000 less.
Okay.
And I said, but they need $12,500 in closing costs. And at the time, they needed $5,000 to buy down the interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
But that was when a night after, the next night in England, the Bank of England increased the interest rate. So anyway, it affected the lenders'
Yep.
buy down.
Yes.
So I had to call them and said, well, we're going to send you a little addendum because now they need $10,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he was like, he blew my ear.
Oh, yeah. And
And I told him, I said, well, I'm sorry, but that happened, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
So the next day, he called me and said, okay, Clara, because he even told me, he says, do you think I'm a dummy? And blah, blah, blah. But then the next day, he said, Clara, yeah, I'll pay the $10,000. He paid
Right.
the $12,500.
Yeah.
Cost. He gave me the $20,000.
Yeah, that's a great negotiation, right? Like you did right for your client.
And I was nicely surprised, but I didn't think I was going to get it.
Well, that's the crazy thing. Sometimes the things we think we're going to get, we don't, and the things we don't think we're going to get, they give us, right? And FISBOs are even tougher because a lot of times FISBOs have a certain mindset, right? Everybody knows what a FISBO is, right? Everybody?
Sell by owner.
Okay, for sale by owner, right? So they have it in their mind that they don't need a real estate agent, right? They may have sold a house once in their life when, back in 1987, and they think they can do it on their own. And a lot of them can, but what happens is they end up losing more money. Because, right, so if I was representing that guy, the FISBO guy, right, and I was his agent, I would have never let that happen. I would have fought you to the grave on a lot of that. I would have stood up for my client. So the great thing is you get a great deal for your client because he didn't know how to negotiate the deal, and you did.
And all he did was pay he told me this, he paid $300 to an agent to put it
Yeah.
in the MLS.
100%.
And that was it.
Yep. So I did really well in FISBOs. I had a tactic that I used, and I won't go too far into it because it's not what this class is about. But what I did was I had a big sign outside my office, right? I said, list your home for $199. And all the FISBOs would call me on it and say, hey, you're going to list because they don't want to spend the money. That's their biggest concern.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay an agent. They don't think we can do our job. They don't like us. They don't think we have the knowledge to get the job done, right? That's most of the time what they think. Like, we can do it ourselves. But for $199, and I get an agent, hey, but what I did was, that was to capture the lead.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'll list your house for $199, not a problem.
That's brilliant.
This is what I'm going to do for you for $199. Then it's MLS. You get the photos, you do everything, you schedule showings. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just going to put it on the MLS. I'm listing your home, right? And so, or I have the second package that I'll do this, this, and this, and this for 2.5%, right? Or whatever, 5% if I'm listing at the time. Or I can go the third option and I do 6%, and this is everything you're going to get. This is all the value, right? I'm guaranteeing I'm going to sell your home. Guess what happened?
6%.
They go for the third one. Most of the time, they go for the third one. They're like, well, I mean, it's not that much, and like, okay, like, I understand, and they go for the third one, and you get the listing.
Even if, let's say they don't, they'll sell it or they'll try to do it on their own, and they'll remember you, and they'll be like, oh, actually, let me just go.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, and that
Exactly.
happens so many times. The problem is with that, you're gonna piss off a lot of agents. You're gonna piss off a lot of agents by doing that, trust me. I was not the most liked person in the area because of that sign. Because now I'm devaluing their commissions, right? And like, I get it, but they didn't understand what I was doing. Very rare. I only had one person do the $199. One person out of all the deals I've done on that sign, one person actually went with the $199. I was like, cool, no problem. Give me the $199. I'm going to put it on MLS. There you go. It took me 4 minutes. He got me pictures. He did everything himself. I don't know if he ever sold it. I think he. To be honest with that one, I don't think we sold that one because he was like way overpriced. Took it off, listed it with someone else with another agency, and sat on the market for a long time. I don't know if it ever sold though. So yeah, so just use your apps, use your technology, use the stuff that we give you guys to make your life easier, is the point. Provide value, ask for help, and give a reward if you're getting referrals, right? So referrals, as you get through the business, are the most important thing, I think. Because listen, like, you're gonna get free business. If you do your job right from the beginning, these will start coming back around to you. And you're gonna start getting referrals from other buyers and sellers that you sold to, sister, like I've the amount of referrals I've done without trying anything, without even asking for it, to be honest with you, just because I gave them so much value. Hey, you sold us a house 2 years ago. You were great. I barely even remember these people. They say, hey, my brother-in-law wants to buy a house. Would you be willing to talk to him? Yeah, he's already pre-approved. Even better, just because I did a great job. But what you should do is ask for the referral too, right? Hey, by the way, I just wanted to ask you, do you know anybody else that's looking to buy or sell real estate in today's market? Say, well, my sister's brother's cousin's mother, might be looking. Cool. Would you mind if I get their contact information so I can give them a call and just make sure that they get all the value or the help they need? And then most of them just say, yeah, not a problem. Give them a call. Yeah, we're looking to buy, or we're not looking to buy. It is what it is. Reviews. Don't be afraid to ask for the review. when you close a transaction, or even before you close a transaction, you guys, I mean, what I did was I would have my my little what is it called? Not QR code, but link. And I would go up to them, especially after I closed. I was like, "Hey guys, how do you think I did? Are you guys satisfied with my performance?" And they go always like, "Oh, dude, man, you're the greatest. Like, thank you so much. Perfect. Hey, I'm gonna send you a link. If you don't mind, click on that link. It takes you to Google and just give me a review. Like, what'd you think? Am I worth 5 stars?" And they say, "Dude, you're worth 10 stars. Awesome. I'm going to send it to you right now. Do you mind opening that up just to make sure it opens for me?" And they say, "Oh, yeah, got it open. Cool. Thank you so much." Because obviously reviews help sell us, right? If I'm looking for a real estate agent, I'm going to go check them out. A lot of people don't. They'll work with the first agent they talk to, which is good, right? But if you have reviews to back your value and your experience, like, there's no losing, right? We have the 5 stars. Everybody's happy with me. I did a great job. I want to work with that guy or that woman, right?
Where are the best places to post reviews?
I think right now, I would go with Google. Google would probably be the best. I did a lot like Zillow, Yelp. Yelp's not really a thing anymore, I don't think. I don't know.
Not as much. Yeah.
Not as much, but the problem is I focused a lot on Yelp for a while, and so I have a couple good Yelp reviews, but trying to get them back on Google is hard because you have to be vetted for Google and stuff like that. So you can't just leave a review. They're going to look into it and they're going to remove it. Trust me, I tried.
I think on homes.com it helps the algorithm. So
Yes.
You show up on homes.com.
Yep. I even tried creating new emails and different accounts and leaving myself good reviews. They always caught me. It would post for like a day. I'm like, "Oh, yes, it worked." And then the next day it'd be gone, right? Because they figured out that it was linked with me. And they're like, "Yeah, you can't leave your own reviews, man." I think one of them stayed up for, yeah, I tried. It didn't work out for me.
Can you
I had to do something.
automatically use it for testimonial, like on your web pages?
Yeah.
In your landing pages? Okay, do you need separate permission for that? Or when they leave a Google review, it's public. So is it okay just copy and
Yes,
paste that?
exactly. So if it's
Okay.
on Google, you can copy and paste. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And you might want them, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, or they might feel a little weird about it, if you get that feeling, say,
Yeah.
"Hey, just wanted to let you know, do you mind if I just copy and put this on my page?"
Okay.
They don't care.
They
They
don't
don't care.
care.
They're leaving it for everybody
Yeah.
to see, right? They're trying to help you out. So anything that helps you out is going to benefit them too, right? Let's move along with this. Any ahas that we haven't covered?
Yeah, when you said real estate is not a job, it's a lifestyle.
Yep, it is. Yep,
And expectations are very important, so.
they are.
At the time of the buyer's or seller's consultation, then it's better to set everything up front.
Yep. And that's the thing is, if we give them everything we need, everything they need up front, it's going to make your life easier too, right? Because now you're not scrambling. Like, hey, I gave them the full layout of how this transaction is going to work, and what to expect from me, what to expect from my time, and what to expect from your time. And if we have that locked in at the beginning, it's going to go so much smoother for you guys. If we don't communicate with them, they freak out. They freak out, guys, like sellers and buyers. But they will freak out because they don't know what's happening. Yeah. If you're at the doctor's office and your loved one's in the gets rushed to the hospital, and you're in the room and you're like, "What's happening? What's happening?" Like, I need to know they're okay. But if you don't know, if the doctor comes out and says, "Hey, you know what? It's not a big deal. Everything's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. Take a seat. We'll come and talk to you in a little bit." You're like, "Oh, thank God they're fine," right?
Every situation is different too. I actually have an experience. The guy just came out of divorce, so he's a little bit upset with women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then toward the end of escrow, we did his final credit pull. His credit showed a different status for his income, so he ended up buying down his interest rate.
Yep.
So which, by the way, he was able to buy it down at 5.99%.
Nice.
It was awesome. So he beat the market average right now on a 30-year fix. So I got to brag that to him.
Yeah.
Because he felt like we were screwing him over. He
Yep.
felt like, oh my God, you guys are charging me $7,000 more to. Is this a coincidence? Is it last minute? Why? So we had to explain. We had to do a credit pull right a few days before closing. This is standard.
Right.
This is what it exposed. And it wasn't anything horrible or anything. It's just he wasn't working as much overtime. That was it.
Right. Exactly.
But
yeah.
it helped. We had to break the news to him very well, and then we had to regain his trust to let him know, hey, we're not trying to. What do you call it? Click and bait or bait and switch.
Yeah.
on
Bait and
you,
switch.
or,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he ended up getting a team of women that really supported him, and he's very appreciative of that.
Yeah.
He's not sexist in any way.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
just
yeah.
very appreciative that he could buy a home this quickly after his divorce.
Yep.
Because he thought he didn't even expect to be able to do that. So he's so happy overall.
Nice.
But we had to set the expectations. We had to explain what it meant
Right.
to buy down points. And then, oh, by the way, your points are now lower than the national average.
Perfect.
And he was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's
you should be
awesome.
very, very proud.
Yeah. That's really good. And to switch him from thinking that way.
Yes.
What did that do? That you gave him value. You gave
Yes.
him everything he needed to
Yes.
trust you again,
Yes.
even though he had no reason not to trust you.
Right.
But in his situation from the divorce,
Yeah.
people get in the mindset sometimes where
he's
it's like,
in panic
no.
mode.
Yeah.
We're in the last day of escrow. He's got a lot to think about now. He's got to pack. Now he's got to give his notice to his apartment.
Yep.
Now he's got a lot to do.
It's
now He's got
chaos.
a mortgage.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of emotions going on.
Yep.
And we're supposed to sign papers with him in a couple days.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
he's nervous. Like,
I mean, yeah. Anybody who's ever bought a house that had to move from another house,
yeah.
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
stressful.
work.
Like, did I get the house? Did I not get the house? Am I
Yeah.
going to be able to move? I
Yeah.
have to give them notice by tomorrow. Like, if I give them
I'm
notice, I
actually
have
gonna
nowhere to
physically
live.
help him. I'm physically going to go help him. But
Nice.
anyways, that's different.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, I've done it all. You know, I've helped people move. I've helped them do everything.
Yeah.
I've helped them drive moving vans and trucks to the new spot. Helped them unpack.
Yeah.
I've done it all.
Yeah.
I've done it
It
all.
can be fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. And until it's just you and one other person moving an entire 5-bedroom house, and you're like, I just want to go home. Like, I'm not getting paid for this. So success with buyers. So what buyers want most from their agents? I don't know if I agree with this chart completely, but 52% of buyers said they want the agent to find them the right home. Okay, and that is true. But nowadays, most of the time, to be honest with you guys, they find their own home.
Yeah.
They're on Zillow. If they're actively looking for a home, they're looking for a home.
Yeah.
And they're sending you homes they want to see. You're not sending them homes, right? A lot of times, I'll get 20, 30 texts from a buyer, you know, with all different types of homes. And then, you know, they're sending you the property. So they know what homes they're looking for and what they want. Help them find the right home may mean a couple things, right? So it may mean like, hey, help me make sure that this is the right home, even though I'm the one who found it. I need this 5-bedroom. I want this house. It's in a great location, but help me find the reason for doing this, right? So that could be an issue too. Not an issue, but a reason for you helping them. Let's see here. 13% negotiate terms of the sale. I think I think it's way higher than that
I think so too.
because they don't even know how to negotiate,
No.
you know, anything. So a lot of the times. They think they do, but they don't, right? So 13% say, hey, help me negotiate the terms of the sale. I think it's a lot higher. Help with price negotiations. I think that's also a lot higher. I think that's also a lot higher because they don't understand when it comes to those terms and like, hey, like we're getting offers for less or higher or whatever it may be, or maybe there's conditions to the purchase, right? And then obviously 24% is other. I would just say all these three are probably half, all mixed in, right? Buyer's needs analysis. You know, make sure, like we said before, that you know your buyer, right? Make sure you know what they need, what they're looking for. A lot of times they don't know what they're looking for, and so we have to sit down with them. This is the purpose of this, right? Like we want to sit down with our buyers and ask them the questions. Like, what do you need out of a home? Because a lot of times they have these big dreams in their head and they say, oh, I want 7 acres, a car garage, 14-car garage. And that, if that's the case, that's the case. But a lot of times they don't really need that, right? And especially if you have two people, two parties wanting two different things, right? Husband and wife, usually, right? The wife wants this, the husband wants that, right? So we want to make sure that we understand both of them and what they're looking for and how to compromise.
The minute I meet someone, I get their email, I do an introduction, I give them the buyer guidebook, and it has these questions in it. So
Perfect.
you can start planting the seed with them.
Yeah, yep,
The more that time they have to prepare that, the more they will know themselves going into the home search.
exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of these things they don't even think to think of.
No, most of the time they don't, yeah.
And then you've given them 20 homes to narrow down to, and they don't know which ones they actually really do like.
Right,
They
exactly.
forgot.
I think she's going around.
Okay.
We'll lock that one too. Can't come in, sorry. Once you leave, you can't come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, just take a screenshot of this or a picture of this. It's just really to understand what they're doing. Like, what are they really looking for? And just being able to be the person to provide that info for them. Life changes. Life changes, guys. Buyers' lives change. The world change. Maybe they have a baby. They find out they're going to have twins. They were looking for a 3-bedroom. Now they might need a 4-bedroom or a 5-bedroom, right? Maybe interest rates go up. Maybe they lose their job. Maybe they get a promotion. They can afford more. So everything changes. So stay in contact with our people because lives do change, right? Maybe they were going to move. They were selling the house because they got a job offer in Florida making $10,000 more a day, right? Whatever it is. And then they come to find out that they did not get the job. And now you have the house on the market.
Yeah.
You have everything. So keep in contact with them. Just make sure that everybody's on the same page. And sometimes we can do that all we want and things still change. Things change.
That's
Babies,
good.
jobs, people die. Things change, guys. Keep that in mind. Okay, this is always the fun one. The tough conversations, right? So who can tell me a tough conversation you would have to have with one of your buyers? What would that be?
Their finances.
Finances, yeah. Maybe they got what's the saying? A champagne taste and be your budget or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they want the big old mansion on top of the hill, but they can't afford it. How do we tell them that?
Yeah, but they'll understand their lender's their main contact for that. However,
Yes.
they're gonna need a third-party opinion.
Yep.
And it goes back to setting expectations. You still need to understand how the different lending tools work
Yes.
and in what conditions. Because I have an FHA loan and they end up wanting a manufactured home and it ends up being in a flood zone and
Right.
that combination can't work.
100%.
Do a whole bunch, but you need to understand their finances in order to understand why they had to do an FHA to begin with.
Yeah. So how many people would show a buyer a home without them talking to a lender first?
Sometimes you can do it as a courtesy.
Yeah,
You know,
I've done it.
Sometimes you have to,
Yeah.
as a courtesy.
I mean, people thought I was crazy because I wasted a lot of time working with buyers that weren't qualified.
No.
But I had such a great team behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I would qualify the buyer when I met them at the showing, right? I haven't talked to a lender. Hey, not a problem. I'm going to go show you 2 houses. No more than 2. But I want to get in front of you to meet you, to build that rapport with you, to show you that I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, do you have a lender in mind? No. Perfect. I'm going to have my lender give you a call today. What time works best for you? 5, 3, whatever it is. Oh, have them give me a call at 3. Give them a call at 3. You call your lender back. Hey, did you talk to them? Yeah, they're giving me all the information. It seems like they're good to go. And they really loved you. So they want to go see homes again. Hey, how do you feel about me showing them homes? Do you think they're pretty solid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for what they were telling me, I don't have any of their paperwork yet. From what they're telling me, they seem pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Now I have the confidence I can go back out and show them again, right? And
Sometimes they need the inspiration. Sometimes they need to see a couple homes before they're just like, oh my God,
yeah,
I want this home. But there's a catch-22 when it comes to new construction. A lot of folks jump into new construction without agent representation,
yes,
and then they want to take advantage of the beautiful interest rates with new construction, which means going to their lenders.
yep,
So that's another setting expectations thing. If you need to feel out if they're preferring new construction, to understand that if they want to take advantage of those rates, they're going to end up needing to go with the new construction
right.
lenders.
And make sure when
Yeah.
make sure when you're showing your buyers new construction that you're signing them in,
Yes.
because guess what?
So
They will not pay you.
I was at a showing this weekend. I was showing a couple came in. They were the neighbors of the home. I door knocked them a couple days before the showing. They said, "Oh, we're on our way to Williams Ranch because we do want new construction. We want to get an idea of how much we can sell for this home. We're running down the Williams Ranch right now." I said, "Oh, great. Here's my card."
Yes,
I go, "I'm not your agent. I'm not representing you. Remember, you signed the NAR form. I'm representing seller of the home. However, if you don't have agent representation going into that sale, they're going to hound on you like crazy. They're going to want to represent you.
yep,
Someone else might want to pressure you. So if you want, you can give them our name, whoever's name it is, let them know
Right.
you're represented." They're like, "Oh, okay." They didn't really know what that meant. I called ahead while they were driving down the 14.
Perfect.
I called ahead and I
Perfect.
got the showing agent
yep,
for Williams Ranch.
Yep.
I left her 2 messages. She called me about 10 minutes before they walked in the door. She's like, "Hi, who are you?" "Not a problem. I got your name down. I got their name down.
Yep.
You're good to go." Sure enough, the next morning I followed up with her. She's like, "You know it. They came in. They looked around. They love the places. They're noodling on it right now.
Yep.
See what they're going to do with their current home." I said, "Yes."
yep. I
They-
love new
They
construction.
will let you. They will let you not be there the first time if you call ahead as a courtesy. "Hey, I'm sending
A
someone."
lot
to
of
you."
them, yeah.
They love it when you.
Some
hear,
of them
Mhm.
they are very, very picky with. Like, I don't know if you guys have a NAR out here, but
You gotta package it differently. Tell them
Yeah.
you're sending someone to them.
yeah, because a lot of times, they do whatever they want sometimes. That's why we want to make sure we talk to
Yes.
them. We set expectations, right? Like, hey, if you are looking for new homes, let me know ahead of time so I can check you in. Because I don't want you to go in there and get hounded by these by the new home sales. They're going to try to upcharge you, all these crazy things.
Yes.
Just let me know so I can give them a call or I can be there with you.
Right.
And they usually do, right? Because if they walk into a new home sale and they don't have a real estate agent or even a contact with a real estate agent, even if they're your clients
Yeah.
and they say, "Hey, we want to make an offer," guess what? It's too late.
Yep.
You didn't check them in.
They're saving all that money in commission.
Oh yeah.
If you're not with them, they love it because
Yep.
they're saving all that money in
Oh
commission.
yeah. And a lot of times they're cool.
Or they're pocketing the money.
Sometimes they're cool, even if they go in, you can give them a call, especially if you have a relationship with them already, which I suggest you guys go into these new home builders and meet the people and have a relationship with them. Because a lot of times, like, hey, you know what, I worked with them before, like, they didn't let me know they're coming in, I've already showed them homes. Sometimes it's like, nah, all right, bro, like, it's okay. Like, we'll put you down. Very rarely, though, will that happen, unless you have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
So make sure, if your buyers are looking at new homes, you are there with them or you call ahead. That was a smart move. Smart move. Good job.
I was like on it.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be. All right, showing homes. Who here has not showed a home yet?
What you mean like?
Like, you haven't showed a client a home? You haven't showed a home? You haven't showed a home? Okay. So when you're showing a home, there's a lot to this, right? It's not just opening the door. So if I was a buyer and I wanted to see 5 homes, I was like, hey, I like this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, so setting them up for success would be going in the MLS, getting all the information, printing out the MLS sheets for yourself and your clients. There's 2 different copies. There's one that has all the broker remarks on your side, and then one that you give your clients doesn't have all the information of the detailed information for the other side. You want to give them that one. And then also plan it out. Go on maps. I think there's a map feature in Flex. I don't know if they still have that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, you can go on maps and you can plan it out. So that way you're not driving from this house to that house, then from that house back over to the same neighborhood you were just at, right? You want to make sure you have a flow to your showings. So always make sure you print out a map for them too. I used to always do this. I print out a map and say, hey, look, guys, I would either meet them at the first house or before, typically at the first house. You're like, hey, we're going to meet at 123, Sergio Street. Meet there, and then when I'm there, I say, okay, these are all the other homes we're going to see in a nice folder. And it has a map as well with stars of each property, so they can say, "Oh, that property is not that far from this property." They have a good reference of what the property they're looking at. When you get to the
Can I
house,
share something?
when you get to the house, what you want to do is know how to open the lockbox and kind of where it's at, right? Like go on to the broker remarks. And usually they'll say lockbox located on side of the fence. Know where the lockbox is as best as you can. Sometimes they don't say, but you have to find it. It's just when you show up, especially when you're new, you're nervous, right?
Yes.
You're like, oh my goodness, like I have to show this house. I've never done this, or I've only done this a few times. And what happens is they can tell. They can tell you're nervous. If you're scrambling over there trying to find the lockbox, trying to get it open, or go ahead.
On my first one, I show up before them.
Yes.
I did that.
So I'll get into that too.
Good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, yeah.
I
Yep.
was like, open it. I'm like, yeah.
But if you haven't opened the lockbox, find someone in the office that has one. Let them practice. You can practice on it. Make sure you know how to get through your app. Make sure you know how to open it. That way you're not scrambling at the last second, like blaming it on the lockbox or the internet. Like, oh, this internet's not working. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to log into this thing.
Well, I just opened my first lockbox the other
Can I share something real fast?
Yeah, give me one sec. We have someone else sharing.
So while shadowing, and then also that there's another company for the lockbox other than Sentry Lock. And I don't know which that lockbox is. If it's a different one. So I don't have access to it.
Typically in MLS, it will say what lockbox is on there.
Okay.
Out here, mostly Century. There are some down south that still use Supra. So we don't have access typically to Supra. Supra does have a way to access though. They can give you one-time like access to the lockbox. So in that sense, just make sure that it list. If it doesn't, you can always call. And I always call the listing agent no matter what. If I'm showing a property, I try to talk to the listing agent because let me just silence this. I'm getting blown up. Yeah, the combos, like they're
Combos
just
are easy. The supers are the ones you have to have like a Bluetooth access and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
chops.
Mhm.
There's no code on them though.
There's no
There's no
code.
code on
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there's no code on those ones.
but
You
they can
have to have
they can give you access
Yeah.
though, so you can go into an app and then they give you access to it and then you do it and it
Really?
opens. Yeah, it's like a 1 hour code or something like that.
Well, I know that from the past, if I didn't pay for it, it was so hard for me.
Yeah.
So in order to, actually have access, you do have to pay. It's like $15 or $16 a month.
Yeah, it's, right now I'm paying, actually right now it's 22 something
Or
a
maybe
month.
it is. I don't know.
Inflation.
Yeah.
It's
Jeez.
gone up, yeah. But as long as you have the app,
Yeah.
put your app on the phone, and then if you need
Yes.
a 1 day code, you already have the app.
Right, exactly. So that's something that's a great question. But I always try to call the listing agent, just regardless. Just like, hey, just wanted to make sure, I can show this property, or even if it's go and show. It's just I always be courteous, and try to let them know. And it also makes a good reflection on yourself because, like, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you. Is there anything about the property I should know about? Nope, you're good to go. Sentry boxes on the front door, or hey, this one has Supra. It's around the corner. Hey, I don't have access to Supra. How can I get it? Right?
They also might know if someone's already at the house. So they might know that somebody is scheduled to be there a certain time.
Yes.
And it might be nice to know if there is, because they'll be like, yeah, they'll ask you what time you plan on showing up. Oh, between 10 and 11.
Right.
Okay, well, just so you know, there's another agent that's going to be there about that
Especially
time.
go and show. Yep.
And so that'll
Yep.
let me know, okay, I'll wait till later. Because I've been into a house where there's like 2 other agents with 2 parties, like
Yeah.
waiting at the gate.
Do you guys use showing time?
Huh?
You guys? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only
Perfect.
we have access to because if you don't have
Yeah,
access
yeah.
to the Supra, it's not.
It's
Or
not-
CMLS or SRS.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I booked through there.
Okay, so since everyone's talking out, one thing Joy Murphy taught when we were together at Century 21 Yarrow, where Sam started out too, we were all over there. But she told me one day that when she goes to show houses, every time she'd go to show houses, she would know where every new build was. And she would tell her clients, well, while we're over here, I'm going to bring you in here just in case you would like to look at the new homes that, we've registered you.
Yeah.
And so I didn't hear if you said that, but I thought that was such a wonderful, you know,
Well,
She
insight
also
of hers.
she also likes you to know which new home builders are in the area next to her listings as well, so that you can know how much they're charging, how much the extras are going to be, how much the
Yep.
mandatory solar is going to cost.
Well-
Because a lot of people will go to her listing or any listing, and then they'll be like, "Oh, new construction's right next door." They're always going to go into new construction,
of course.
and they're going to see the models, and they're going to be wowed.
Yes.
But they don't know how much extra it's going to be. So it helps to know, anyways. And Joy's really big on that.
Right.
Because she had a couple listings, and she told us, go find out exactly what's going on in the pricing, what phase they are
Yeah.
with the new construction homes, how much they're charging for solar, and how much the average options cost.
Yep.
Because it piles on quickly. Because they think they're going to get into new
Well,
construction for $400,000.
And
ends
that
up being $600,000.
and that's the thing. They have their new sign up, and thank you for sharing that. They have their
Yeah.
new sign up, and they say, "Oh, starting at 400,000, 500,000, whatever it is." Right? You go see the property. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's like, oh my goodness. Oh, by the way, we're gonna buy down your rate. By the way, we're gonna pay your closing costs. By the way, we're gonna do this. Boom, boom, boom. They're giving you all this stuff, and you're like, yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
What they don't know is all the details. But knowing where they are, because they're gonna go see them anyway.
They're going to go see them anyway.
So
and they
eh,
compete
you
with
may
your
as well
listings.
you may as well
Yeah.
be the one to bring them to
You
that.
need to beat them to the punch,
Yep.
and then let them know, hey, that's great. It's going to cost $200,000 more than this listing that I'm selling you right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So what are the hidden fees, like solar?
It's now mandatory for solar. So
Mhm.
at a minimum, a lot of them you can't escape without at least tacking on the 25,000
Yeah.
for whatever the minimum requirement is for solar now.
It's crazy.
And then every person, they have the base price items that are in there, but 99% of the people in there put at least $20,000 to $70,000 more in upgrades.
Right.
Because they've been so inspired by the models and everything that they put into the models.
Right. And what they do
Yeah.
is they paint it by you too, by the way. So when you go in, they say, hey, these upgraded floors is only going to add $25 a month to your payment. And you're like,
That's true.
that's
But-
nothing,
And for some
right?
people, that's great. They're prepared for that, and
Right.
they're okay with it. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
okay with it, but it took me a while to do trades because I had and it's more work. They get to choose their flooring, then they gotta see if they can now afford the bigger island.
Right.
And then if they want to do the paint, well, then they gotta sacrifice that bigger island.
Yep.
If they have budget in mind, so
The-
it's a little bit more work on their part, but
the-
it's worth it if you. I love new construction.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about new construction
You don't have to
is
do anything.
we don't have to do
They
anything,
do
right?
Everything.
All we got to do is be like, hey,
Yeah.
sign here. Yeah. Okay. See you guys. Let me know when it's done.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, keep up with your clients. Don't just ghost them. But you don't have to do anything else. All the paperwork's done for you. Everything's done, and you get a big old fat check. Right. So new construction is amazing. It really is.
By the way, I was snooping around, was talking to Pacific Communities. Eventually, they're opening a community called Topaz. They're gonna know more information. So it's senior.
Let 'em go around.
They're gonna have a senior community
Right.
of new construction coming out, but they'll know more later this year. Just
Okay.
in case you're curious, because they're few and far between up here.
Right. He's like, where am I at? I was about to ask him.
Sorry.
I was like, I've never seen him before. I was like, I don't know.
He just walked in and didn't even say anything.
He's about to take a seat. He's about to take a seat and start
You have
learning.
no idea.
He's like, I'm not even an Asian in here. Trying to buy a house.
He could have been the fire inspector.
Yeah. Giving him all of our trade secrets. He's looking for one. There we go. Oh, goodness. So,
Show you the new moves.
Hey.
there we go. There we go. I love it. So showing homes, make sure you have a plan. Make sure you guys know what you're showing. So many times I've done this. Like I said, I've made a lot of mistakes. Show the house, don't have any clue about it. I just kind of wing it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the buyer knows more than me, and that's not a good thing. Now you can open the door for Tiff. So, come back, Tiffany. Can you close that door as well, please? Thank you. I know. We got some activity over here today. Man. So, knowing what they want, having the information, having the knowledge of the house. And a lot of times, like I said, we don't get to go see the homes before, but at least knowing how many square feet it is. Does it have the age? In Florida, roofs were a big thing. They always wanted to know the age of the roof because that's a big deal in Florida, right? Because you can't get insurance if the roof is 10 years older.
The roof of the, oh.
Yeah. Oh, it's a strict thing now because of the hurricanes. Yeah. So in 2022, I bought my house in Florida, and I barely made it through because they just changed it where now the roof. What happened was the roofers used to sign off, right? They would give you a cert saying, "Oh yeah, you still got another 15 years left on your house, on your roof," even though the roof is way past its limit, right? But they charge you to come out and do that. Then everybody found out about what they were doing, and then they put a stop to that. So now the roofers cannot sign off on it anymore. It's from when the roof was put on, documented from when you bought the house or when you got the house, the roof replaced.
After 10 years, it won't insure.
10 years. It's really hard. You can still get insurance, but you're going to be paying crazy money. Crazy money. And Citizens is the only one that will do it.
So you have to continually get a new roof every 10 years?
Yep. Or whatever the roof compound is.
What
So
happens when they get solar? Because
solar company has to come take off the solar, put in the roof. Yep.
the whole roof though?
Yep. But so
The whole
What,
roof?
what's popular out there? The
metal,
shingles? Oh,
metal. So metal is actually why it's popular because they can go 30 years.
Oh.
They can go 30 years on
yeah.
metal. So metal roofs.
Can they drill through that if they get solar later on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and the metal roofs are way more expensive. I got a quote from my house
Out here or
in Florida at least. Yeah. I got a quote from my house. This was right after I bought the house. I was just trying to close the deal and get the deal done, and then I was going to replace the roof. And it was like $14,000 for the shingle, and then it went up to $28,000 for the roof, for the metal.
Oh my God.
For the metal roof, yeah. So I was like, I'm not going to do any of them.
It's like tile, right? Tile would probably be the.
Tile is not popular out there.
No, I'm saying that would probably be the price if we were to
Yes,
pay to get a
yes,
tile
yes.
roof done on our property.
Exactly, yeah. Very true.
So roof is important, especially people, if it doesn't have solar, people want to get solar later because sometimes the roofs, if they're too old,
Yeah.
solar companies will not put solar panels on it without you replacing it anyways.
Right.
So it's good to know that ahead of time.
Yep.
But an HVAC systems, people want to know about HVAC.
HVAC's
especially
also a
out
big
here 'cause
thing.
The high heat.
Yeah, so just know, like, you can do the research and find out, like, hey, the HVAC or the AC's
Yeah.
10 years old, 15 years old, is going to need one. And you can tell when you get there, too, if it's old or not,
It might say
especially
it
in this sun.
comments. It should say it in the
I came
comments.
a little bit late. What's your name?
My name is Johnny.
John.
No, I'm kidding. It's Kevin.
Email.
Yeah. So I'm actually the team leader here at the office.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
That's a name.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Okay, I passed by your office. I've only met you in person.
Yeah.
So you look familiar.
No,
but
you didn't even know who I was. No, it's okay.
Sorry, I'm actually.
It's my fault too.
When I came in 2024, and literally the week of the flood.
Oh my goodness.
And or maybe that was last year. No, that was 2024.
I think it was 24. Yeah.
I came the week of the flood, and so the whole year, it was very odd for me because it was like construction. I tried to get a cubicle, didn't. It was just weird.
Oh,
It was a
no.
weird transition, and so I ended up leaving KW because I just felt like.
Wrong move. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
and then I went to Rise. Oh God.
Oh,
Don't go to Rise.
no. There. You heard it first.
They just charge a lot. It's insane.
Yeah.
I went to Rise and then came back, and I'm just getting familiar again with everybody. So.
Yeah. No.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Welcome back. Thank you.
I love it.
Everybody, give a round of applause for coming back.
I did take polls, but this is my first time really coming to something, and I'm feeling like I'm excited again.
Yeah.
Last year was really weird too. I started real estate in 2020, and it was just it was a good time.
Yeah.
It really
2020 was
really
good.
time.
Yeah.
Like my first transaction was a listing, and it was a really good one, and I helped buy, the client buy. But the last 2 years have been wonky.
Right.
And
For everyone though.
very
For everyone.
uncomfortable, very like
Yeah. I think
challenging.
it has been. It really has been. And it's because, what the market's doing. right? So knowing our market, and we can know all we want about our market, but the buyers and sellers are still not moving like they used to, right? 2020, 2021, 2022. Oh man, real estate was great. You know how many people got into real estate just for those years and got back out of real estate because they're like, okay, it's not as easy anymore.
But there was a lot of disappointed clients that weren't getting their offers accepted.
100%.
Which makes
We're looking at
no. But we're talking about setting expectations.
Right.
Because this is part of it, is letting your clients know, hey, you might not get accepted.
Yeah.
That's why it was important to work with sellers, because you knew that you're going to sell.
It was guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right.
Within
Yeah. Well, it's like when I bought my house, it was 2022. I put 20 offers in on different houses.
Yeah.
And I was going $100,000 over asking.
Jeez,
And I told my girlfriend, I was like, at the time, I was like, this is the worst thing we can do. Like, this is the worst time to buy real estate. I'm paying $100,000 more.
Yeah.
And I still got beat out of every single house. Every single house, disappointed. Like, oh, I love this house. I'll go $100,000 over. $100,000 over. $100,000 over. Nope. And then finally, the day we were leaving, something popped up on Zillow. My ex-girlfriend, she said, hey, I want to see this house. I'm like, okay. And I was like, let's go see it. Saw it. I was like, I don't like it. I hate this house. The roof is bad. The AC is bad. It's too small. There's nothing like I want. And she's like, I love it. Because the kitchen was like redone and they did a terrible job doing it, but whatever. And so I was like, okay, I'll go $5,000 over asking. I was like, we're not going to get this house anyway. I was like, let's go back to California. We'll come back out in the next 6 months and see where we're at, right? Because I didn't want to move to Florida. She wanted to move to Florida. And I just sold my business. Up north, and so I was like, whatever. If it happens, it happens. Yeah. And guess what they did? Accepted the freaking offer. I was like, dang it. I was like, okay, well, I guess we're moving to Florida. And the house that I didn't like.
Oh.
Luckily, I only had to be there a year because things didn't work out, and I gave her the house and walked away. So, yeah.
Oh, that was nice of you.
Yeah. And now I'm here.
Well, you didn't want the house anyways.
I didn't want the house anyway.
You didn't
Yeah.
Or the girl.
I just left all of that behind. The only thing I had to leave that I didn't want to leave was my dog. Well, technically it was her dog because she got it first, but whatever. He liked me better. Yeah, I have 3 now. I have 3 more dogs now. Yeah, so, and a new girlfriend and a new house, so we're all good. Oh goodness, that's funny.
With the old in with the new.
Right? All right, getting back into it, showing homes. So we went over kind of like, finding out where the homes are, getting the information, knowing where the lock boxes are, and knowing what to do, where we're going to get into this, knowing what to do when we open the door, right? So how do you guys show a home? Right? Do you open the door and you point out everything? Hey, by the way, this floor was, even if you have the answers, which you probably don't, but this floor was replaced in 2013. They did this, they did that, pointing everything out. You can do that. My style is letting them come in, and then walk around and say, hey, you guys, feel free to ask me any questions. Boom, boom, boom. There's a bathroom that way, and I back away because they need time to discuss.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not going to talk in front of me, even if I'm their agent. They want to have a personal conversation. And when they're in the bedroom, like, like I'd rather, have a bigger closet or something like that. They need that time to discuss this. Yeah. And at the house, because they're going to do it in the car too. Trust me. The second they get in their cars, I'm like, oh my God, thank God we're leaving that house. That was terrible, right?
Yeah.
Which brings me into my next point real quick. Be careful what you say at houses.
Oh, man.
Do you know why?
You're being recorded.
Yes,
I
cameras.
feel like it could go 2 ways too, though, because the buyer might think you might have an opinion of the house, but the buyer might also have an opinion. They might love it, but you might say, "Oh my God."
Oh, I'll tell this
Well,
story.
there's audio recording. No, it happened to us. I showed a
Yeah.
guy a house, and we were complaining about the windows.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, the agent mistakenly admitted, because he's like, yeah, I know the windows are kind of bad in that house.
Ooh.
We didn't tell him anything.
Right.
They heard us.
Yeah.
And we were having a full-on discussion in the kitchen, and I was kind of quiet, and I didn't want to be like, because they wanted to hang around and stay in the kitchen and talk, and I had already told them, hey, be careful, there might be surveillance in any of these homes.
Yes.
in audio.
That goes back to letting your clients know
It
ahead
was
of time.
creepy.
Like, hey, I just want to let you guys know, feel free to come in. Any discussions we have about pricing or situations or things you like or don't like,
Yeah.
let's wait till the end until we can get away from the home. Sometimes there's a lot of cameras and recording devices,
Yeah.
and we don't want to give the sellers any edge or disappointment to us. They bugged the house, man. Oh yeah.
No.
Cameras inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and then
so,
some
you know-
houses have audio.
So they're safe.
Go ahead, say your
Yeah.
story, Kevin. We
So
want to hear it.
so they have cameras like Ring camera. So even if you're outside the front door, guess
Yes.
what? They can
Yeah,
still hear
and
you
they pick up noise very easily.
very easily. And I
An
learned that.
outdoor Ring camera.
No, they don't tell you.
No,
They,
they don't have to.
They don't have to tell you. Nope.
They don't have to.
No, just be mindful that I would say 60% of the homes probably have some kind of recording device, you know. So just be careful what you say. My story was, I thought I did the right thing. I bring the clients out of the house. I'm like, hey, you know, like they had a Ring camera. I saw it, you know, like I'm like, shh, right? Bring them over to the driveway on the other side, and we're talking about price. They say, hey, we really like this house. Like, we wanted to make an offer. You know, what should we do? Like, we're willing to go up to 500,000. And I'm like, yeah, like that's great. Da-da-da-da. And then I look up,
You gave away your.
and there's a camera
you
right
gave
there. I'm
away
like,
your position.
no. Luckily, we found another house they like better, and we wrote an offer on that. But I was like, oh no! Like I just told them exactly what we're willing to pay, which is more than they had it listed for. So, you know, they could have played that game
They
with
could
me.
have played the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a camera in a ring outside, and then a number.
Oh, nice. What's your address? We'll go rob you.
That's a good
Well,
deterrent, though.
It is a good deterrent, and even if they don't have anything, it's always good practice not to talk, because look, we say a lot of things.
There's birds
Yeah.
around.
There's birds around, you know. Like even one time I was in the backyard and I was talking to my clients. The neighbor was in his backyard sunbathing on the thing. I don't know whatever came from it, but he might have known them and was like, hey, I heard them over talking,
Yeah.
you know, or you know, whatever it is. So just be careful. Always make sure you're away from the home if you're going to discuss anything about the home, and warn them. Make sure you warn them, because we forget. They're not even going to know. So make sure, hey, just to let you guys know, any discussions or anything, any type of way you're feeling about the property, just hold it till the end. It's okay to have a discussion with you know, between you guys, what you guys want and what you guys like. But anything further than that, just wait till the end till we get outside. Right? All right. Any questions on how to show a home? We went over, you know, information, lock boxes, mapping, right? We want to make sure they have a map so that way if we're showing more than 2 or 3 homes, they have an understanding of where we're going. And you need to have an understanding of where you're going too, because what I used to do is I used to go to Google and put every single address in, like, you know, add an address, you know, and it'd pop it all up, and then I would just move them up and down to what my route was going to be, and then I would make the appointments based off of what Google Maps told me. So like, hey, like you're going to go to that house, you're going to go to this house, you're going to go to this house. That's how I'm going to schedule them. 15 minutes. You're going to be at the house 15, 20 minutes. So when you're doing this, keep in mind, so if you have one property here, one property here, and one property here, this is where it gets a little hard, because now you got to stay on schedule, especially if there's people at the homes. It's not go and show, it's not vacant. People are leaving the property for you to come see it, right? You don't want to be late, too early, whatever it is. So it gets hard when you have 5 to 10 showings, which I never suggest doing 10. Stick to 5 at the most, I would say. But it gets hard because now you have to stay on the schedule, right? So, okay, I'm going to be here for 15 minutes. It's going to take me 10 minutes to get to the next house. It's going to take me 15 minutes at this house. It's going to take me 20 minutes to get to this house. So you have to plan all this and make the appointments according to timing, right? So the problem is sometimes they like to stay too long or you leave too early, right? Like I've done it, we're like, oh yeah, we'll be in here 15 minutes. They walk in, nope, next one. I'm like, oh no. Like now I'm so early for the next appointment. And I'm scrambling to get them on the phone. Like, hey, like we're running a little early. Is it okay? You know, because you don't want your client sitting there. And sometimes you have to make adjustments on the fly. They said, no, it's not okay. They don't have anywhere to put the dog at the moment or whatever the case may be. So then I have to go to the other property because it is vacant. and show them that one first, and then try to kill time to get back to the other property, right? So you have to do a lot of juggling sometimes when you're showing properties, and it's just all on the fly. So be wary of that.
You know, I always, what I do is I make a copy of the public report from the MLS. I give them the list, the copy of each one.
Right.
And then I tell them, you may want to write down on each one what you like, what you didn't like.
There you go. Yeah.
Because at the end, particularly if you're going to show them 5, they may not remember.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And we all have our buyers, or you will have your buyers that want to see every house on the market. And that goes back to the tough conversations, right? So some of these buyers, they just have to see everything, right? They have buyer's remorse. They have situations where like, well, we love this house, but there's another house that could be better. And there's another house. There's always another house. There's always another house we have to go see. And we're not in the business to show homes. We're in the business to sell homes, right? So how do we have that conversation with them? By not giving them the option is what I always do. So, hey, we're going to see 3 homes. Even if they send me 7, I'm going to say, hey, we're going to see these 3 or 4 homes. Or I'll say, send me your top 3 homes. Send me your top 3 homes. You sent me 7 of them. Which ones would you want to see first? And then I show them those 3 or 4 homes, right? And then hopefully we find them the house they want. I'm sorry?
Let me share something that Mark Pearson, when I first started in '03, he was like the biggest agent in the Valley almost. He had 3-foot trophies all around his office from Centurion. But anyway, he told me this was what he did with buyers. He would ask them if they found the house, if they were ready to write an offer today. And he told me, he said, I do not do window shopping.
Yeah.
And so if they said they were not ready to write an offer today, he didn't show them houses.
Wow.
And he had he really, if you look at, I don't know, he's retired now, but he's not that old of a man.
Well,
and he did
hey,
really
if
good
you
business.
can retire from real estate, he did the right thing, right?
Yeah.
So no, you make a great point, and that's the thing is, you have to decide who you are as an agent and what you want to or willing to do for your clients, right? So he didn't want to talk to or show them homes if they weren't ready to buy, right? Some of you may be willing to show homes even though they're not ready, right? We work with them, we build them, and if that works for you, then that works for you, but it doesn't work for everybody. Like even I shared earlier that I would show homes without them being pre-qualified. If I had a good feeling about them, I would do that. And I would work with them, and I got a lot of deals from that because no one else was working with them. No one else wanted to because they weren't qualified yet. And so I took that risk of wasting my time to show them homes, trying to convert it into a deal, right? But yeah, as long as you guys are comfortable with what you're doing, that's okay. If you guys want to say, no, I'm not going to show you homes because you haven't talked to a lender or you're not ready to sign today, that's okay too. This is all your business, right? That's the great thing about being a real estate agent. You can run your business however the heck you want to run your business, right?
Like if a person want to see a home and they say, well, I don't have a car to get there. You go pick them up there?
So yes, I don't love doing that. Insurance reasons, things like that. Having people ride with me in my own vehicle, but I have done it many times, especially in Florida. A lot of these people are from out of town. They Uber or whatever. They don't have a vehicle, and so sometimes you have to. Sometimes they're like, "Hey, well, we don't have a car, but we're ready to buy a house." Yeah, jump on in. I don't care. Make sure your insurance is good though. Make sure you have a good coverage, and because that can go very
How
bad.
does that work? Because now you're using your vehicle for business,
Mm-hmm.
and that generally doesn't get covered, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your insurance, like my insurance, I have pretty good insurance. It will cover pretty much anything that ever happens to me, but I'm willing to pay that price, right? I pay for a good insurance. So no matter what, whoever's driving my car or in my car, they're going to be covered. But not everybody has that insurance or wants that insurance. And so you just have to be mindful of it and just know that, like, if something did happen, it could fall back on you. It could fall back on you. And so just talk to your insurance company, see what they think. I typically try not to. If I can get out of not driving them, or I won't. If they have a car, I always meet them at the property. And that's one way of getting out of it. If they come and meet me at the office, which is great too, they might say, hey, it just says jump in one car. But there's two things about it, which is why I don't like it. First of all, you're always on, right? Because your clients are with you for hours at a time. That little drive in between properties is my time to kind of just okay, what am I doing next? How can I figure this out? Boom, 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 how am I going to approach this next house? If they're in there with you, you're on, you're working, you're talking to them, you're building that rapport, which is good, but also you need some time too. So really up to you guys, but for myself, I always tell them, hey, meet me at the first property and then you can follow me to the next ones. Typically the best way to do it. If they can't though, that's fine too.
What if you have an outside agency want you to do an open house for them?
So explain a little bit more on that.
I have a cousin that's a broker.
Okay.
He asked me when to do an open house with him, for him. But I wanted to be a conflict of interest if I did this with his company.
Yes. Some agency allow it. I know Wendy, she mentioned that we shouldn't be doing that. So I would talk to the broker, talk to Wendy and ask her, and see what she says on that. But typically, no, especially if it's not another KW. Even with KWs from a different region, there's a lot of liability that goes into it because we're a Sam, we're a Fay Corp, and they're not. They're a Keller Williams, so we're all the same, but we're a lot different. And so, just if you have any questions on that, talk to Wendy. Yep. All right. Any other questions about showing homes?
And I really couldn't understand what he was saying. What is not allowed?
Yeah. So he was asking if he has someone from a different agency, a different brokerage that wants him to host an open house. And typically that's not the way we do business. Some brokers will allow it. Here at this office, I think we tend to shy away from that just a tad, just because the liability reasons and marketing reasons, right? So they're really strict on certain things, and there's a lot of bylaws that go into that, and so it's a little tricky. But yeah, talk to the broker, talk to Wendy, and see what she says, because I've done it.
Yes.
And I've never had any issues. But moving forward with the broker, she's changing a couple things to help protect us. So just make sure with her.
Wendy says, she said no, because we don't, she says no, she can't cover it, the insurance don't cover it.
Right.
So if anything happened, you're basically on your own. So she doesn't support that. And also even with other KB homes, we had this conversation last week, and she said no.
Yeah, and she mentioned something to me as well, like along those lines. I don't have a problem with it, but obviously I'm not the broker. So whatever she wants to do is we support her, right?
The E&O doesn't cover.
Yeah, the E&O won't cover. And it gets into a lot of different things. It gets into a lot of nicky-picky things. So I think her strategy behind it is just stay away from it, right? We're safer to stay away from that, only because it's not really worth it. If someone walks in, slips, falls, whatever happens, something breaks in the house, the roof collapses, who's responsible, right? So yeah, just be careful. But if Wendy says no, she says no. If you want to find out more, talk to her. Yeah. Yep. We got to start moving a little quick because we are running out of time and we have a lot to go over, I think. So we kind of went over this, show the best properties, have the MLS listing information, pricing, stuff like that. It's the worst thing in the world to walk into a house and they say, what is this thing listed for? And you're like, I don't know. I have no clue. Or if they know and you don't. Yeah. The price that you want. We're going to get you the best deal, don't worry. Don't worry about the deal. Yeah, exactly. Map answers location questions, know the area. Antelope Valley is pretty easy. Like if you know it, if you're out here, it's not that hard. There's certain areas in different places that get a little tricky if you're down below. If you don't know the area, you can always reach out to another agent. Ask questions. They're more than happy to help. Point issues out. If you walk into a house and there's a giant leak in the ceiling and it's obvious, don't try to cover it up. Point it out. Like, oh wow, looks like they have a leak in the roof. We'll have to negotiate that into the deal. Just if you see something, window broken, something like that, point it out. Don't hide it. Doesn't look good because they're going to find it anyway.
So what are the key factors I should be looking for? Like, I know, like cracks on the wall, leaky roof.
Well, the great thing is you're not a home inspector, so you're not looking for anything.
Okay.
If you happen to see it, you can say something, right? You can say, hey, look, looks like the window is falling out or the window's broken. We're not experts on that. We don't know if it's mildew or mold or whatever it may be.
That's one.
48?
You said you don't say.
Okay, say it one more time,
You
so.
don't say leak, you say, oh, there's a spot in the ceiling.
Right.
You don't know if it's been fixed.
I'm on mute.
or what.
I don't know. I don't do these patients. Yes.
Wendy was
You're
telling
not
Oh,
on
we
mute.
don't have any.
Can you mute yourself?
You're not on mute.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
And
I think you're able to mute them. Are you?
If Mondo wasn't here, he could probably do it, but I don't know.
Would you say that we should ever show a home without having the agent detail with us?
No, you can show a home. Just know the
Because
property.
you'd have all the answers, you'd have the answers that they would ask.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the MLS sheet or the details, it makes it a lot easier, right? So if you walk into a house with no knowledge of it, it's gonna be pretty hard if they ask a question, right? It's gonna be like, hey, what year is this, or how many square foot is this, and you don't know it. It's not in front of you, and like we can't know it all. Like I'm not gonna go learn 5 houses before I show them, but I'm gonna have a good understanding of them. Hey, all these homes are based, 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. And then as I'm pulling up to the property, I'll look at the sheet for reference real quick. Okay, this one's 2305, built in 77, do this, do that. Okay, cool. And I can go in there and have the sheet still with me, but I don't have to like study it. Like what's the square footage? Hold on, let me find, oh, it's this. Like, oh, it's actually this. You just know it. You have it. Yeah, the KW.
I would usually give them the client, I would usually give the client detail to them.
Yes, the client detail is very important as well. That way they have the information on it. That's the second page I was telling you guys about. You guys can print out yours and you can print out theirs, right? So theirs is not going to have all the information that you have, going over like detailed showing instructions, stuff like that. So make sure you give them the right one. I've done it before. I gave them the wrong one. Didn't really do anything, but I noticed later on, I was like, oh no, I have their copy, they have my copy. Like, ugh. But yeah, I mean,
How do you get caught on that? Just like they would have to.
they would have to report you. Yeah, and if you're showing them homes, they probably won't. But if they're talking to other agents and they're like, hey, look what this guy gave me. This is the house I'm looking at, and they're like, oh, you shouldn't have that. That's another way too. Hopefully that
Well, the
doesn't
agent
happen.
has the phone numbers on it, of the agent one we don't give them, but the client one doesn't disclose anything much, but the details of the house.
Right, exactly. So the agent copy is going to have the other client or the other agent's information, a lot of information about the owner. Sometimes there's on their names and stuff like that, which is all public records, but we still don't want to share that in that page. It also has key factors like showing instructions, lockbox codes sometimes. So it's just better not to make sure that we give them the right one. It's not a big deal. Don't panic over it, but just make sure theirs are separate than yours. And you can always throw that into the folder when you give them the properties, right? All right, showing homes. So I did this for a while. It's a great thing to have actually. Having a kit. having a kit in your car at all times. So when you show a home, you can have sanitizing wipes, you can have shoe covers, toilet paper is a big one. How many times have I showed a home and there's no toilet paper and they're like, hey, we have to pee so bad, can we use the bathroom? I'm like, let me make sure the water's on first of all. Another pro tip. Make sure the water is on, flush it first, make sure it fills back up because it is.
Sometimes when there is no paper, that means that the owner doesn't want to.
Right, exactly.
That's a public room.
Yeah, very true. But guess what? My clients are going to pee. Sorry, owner.
No, I always have it when I do my
Yes. Of course, yeah. Paper towels, shoe covers. Make sure you have your business cards. If you want to have beverages, snacks, stuff like that, you can. I never did, just because I didn't want to deal with it. It wasn't that big of a deal to me. Entertainment for kids. I know a lot of agents, they bring crayons and coloring books, so that way when they do bring all their 17 kids with them to see the house, they are distracted and they're not jumping on.
Box of matches.
Yeah, there was box of matches and some lighter fluid. Yeah. Go in the backyard and play, guys. No, so it's great to have them entertained. And also, it gives the parents time to actually look at the house. Because you show houses with kids in it, they're running around, they're not even paying attention to the house at all, and you're just like, oh my God, they're not even going to remember this house.
If you did do that with children or someone who came in with muddy shoes and everything, when you leave that property, don't you have to tidy up?
Yes, the best you can. So if there was a mistake, which happens, like I've seen people spill on carpets, and what I typically do is I try to clean it up, paper towels in the kit as well. If you can't, call the other agent and let them know. Hey, you know what, they had a juicy box and it fell on the floor and it got everywhere. There's nothing to clean this up. How would you like me to handle this? Half the time they'll say, don't worry about it, I'll go over there and take care of it. Perfect, thank you. Right? It's the cost of doing business sometimes. As far as, like toilet paper, like any napkins or paper towels, flashlights are always a good one. A lot of times we show properties, power's not on, right?
I did an IREO many years ago, and the agent that wanted to show it to his client didn't have access to it. So I came in and opened the house. It was empty.
Okay.
And the couple had a child, like 8 years old. And he started to run around, and I told the agent, please make sure that the parents keep the kids with them. Well, lo and behold, they go upstairs, and then all of a sudden the kid comes down running. And he thought that the sliding door to the patio was open.
Oh no.
And he ran through it.
Oh no.
It broke.
Knock him out.
The kid, no, I don't know how
Tough
he
kid.
did it, but it didn't knock him out.
She's like, I'm about to knock him out.
The door shattered. The kid came out. They came out, and they said, "Oh, we're sorry." Blah blah blah. At that time, luckily I had someone that at least could come over and put a piece of wood.
Yes.
I mean, and it was a huge house. It was right on West Lancaster at the top, around 70th.
Oh yeah.
One of those big houses.
Yep. Yeah, that's things that can happen. That's bad. I mean, my story wasn't that bad. I just had kids run, and like I had a client, they had nice furniture, and they let their kids jump all over everything. I was like, ooh, and try to clean it the best I could, make it seem like no one was ever there. Got a call from the listing agent, and he was like, hey, why is there little shoe prints on top of my dining table? I'm like, yeah, sorry about that. And he was pissed. He wasn't happy, like, hey, this is a $50,000 table that this kid's jumping on. It's like, I don't know. And I'm in the other room trying to sell the house, and the kids are just, woo. So very important to make sure you prep your clients. Hey, if you're going to bring your kids, make sure it's a tough conversation. Yeah. Keep them with you. Keep them supervised. I brought some coloring books for them. It's hard sometimes. sometimes kids are crazy. You know, if I was a kid gonna go see a house, I'd be crazy. I mean, at 5 years old, 7 years old, I'd be like, woo. Yeah.
In the kid's hand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. But the crayons, you gotta be careful. They're like from the book to the wall. You know, you're like, oh, yeah, yeah. Real quick.
Excuse me,
too-
Mark. Mark? Yes, I'm not sure what graph graphite for sticky blocks. What is that?
Oh, let me go back. So graphite. So graphite
Graphite.
is like it's like a WD-40 lubricant. So sometimes I mean I've shown homes before where you get the key out of the lockbox and the key won't turn. Right? It's been sitting a long time, especially in the REO business. You know, or it's the wrong key because they rekeyed it and never gave you the new one. But a lot of times you get sticky locks. So it's always good to have a little bit. I never really had it. I just forced it, you know, and just like made that
Yes.
thing go in. But it's always good. If
And
you have a
level?
the level, yeah. So if you really want to get into it, I mean, you can get into this. So you can bring a level. I will suggest always bring a measuring tape. It's up there. Bring a measuring tape because first thing they do is, do you think our couch is going to fit here? Well, let's find out. Boom, it's 54 inches. They say, okay, we're going to go home and measure the couch, right? But at least they know now that space.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Okay, safety. So this is an important one, you guys. Safety is always a concern, not just for the females, but also for the men. You know, it's scary out there. And if you're meeting a client you've never met before and you're meeting them at a house, you don't know who this person is. If they're not vetted, if they haven't talked to you before, and sometimes this happens, always bring someone else with you. If you never talk to them, you don't have a good feeling about something, don't show it or bring someone with you. Let everybody know where you are, what homes you're showing, and when you're expected to be back. Because people are crazy. People are lunatics. And it's not just for women, it's for guys, like where the things can go real bad too. I have a story, I'll go through it really quick. It was the weirdest thing in the world. I met this guy, I've never met him before, meet him at his property. He's like, hey, I want to buy this house, cash buyer. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I go up there, show him the house, show him 3 different houses, puts an offer on one, and then he's like, hey, I want to go see the house again. I want to measure a couple things, I want to do a couple things. I'm like, okay. Starts being really weird with me. Like, just like, I'm like, what the heck? Like, this is not normal. Some weird stuff, yeah. So I leave. I'm like, hey, man, I got to go. I got an appointment even though I didn't. I'm like, I'm going to get the heck out of here. You're being weird. So later that night, he starts sending me a whole bunch of text messages. Like, hey, I can't repeat exactly what he said, but hey, you looked very cute today, in a way. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, oh, he's crazy. Like, no. I was like, no, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, what am I gonna say to that? I'm like, I just ignored it. I'm like, okay, whatever. He's probably texted the wrong person, right? I was like, he'll figure it out. He'll feel like an idiot tomorrow, whatever, right? And then he texts me back again, like, oh, what I would have done to you in that room. He explained. He told me what he was gonna do to me, but I can't share that. And so I'm like,
That's wild.
wait a second. I was like, hey, you know this is Kevin. He goes, yeah. I'm like, you're a realtor. He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh.
I got the right way.
Oh, God. Yeah, yeah. Oh, he was ready to do something. Yeah. And so obviously I dropped him as a client, canceled the deal, and I canceled the deal. I don't want anybody else working with us lunatic. Yeah, no, I canceled everything. I was like, okay, you're done. I don't care. But yeah, so jokes aside, it could be dangerous, right? And I remember correctly, he was a lot bigger than me. And it was just me and him at the house. So I don't, I know. I'm just saying, it's true. It's true. And especially for females. You know, always when you show a home, lock the door.
So that was the owner or another agent?
No, that was a buyer.
Oh.
That was a buyer that I met. He just called me out of nowhere on Zillow or Facebook, whatever the two. I forget now. It was years ago.
He saw your picture.
He saw my picture. He's like, hey.
What can we carry for
Hey,
protection?
a realtor. Yeah.
I worked for a call center in sales for
Mark,
hotels, and people would call
what would you
in.
suggest we carry for protection?
Probably a AR-15. No, I'm just kidding. No,
That's legal.
I would say make sure you have mace.
Yeah, mace. I have a
Mace.
taser.
Yeah, taser, mace.
A 9mm in my.
Yeah, 9 mil. You know, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. I mean,
You gotta do what you gotta
not
do.
everybody's gonna feel comfortable, you know, just being strapped up, you know, with the 9s and the ARs. But mace is always a good option. It gives you time to get away, and they're probably not gonna do anything after they get sprayed. I don't know if anybody's ever been maced here. I have. It's not fun. Not because I deserved it, by the way. Okay, because I wanted to know what it felt like.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, me and my buddies were not very smart back in the day. Yeah. We found some mace, we're like, I wonder how bad it's gonna hurt. That hurt pretty bad. So what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
I worked for a call center, and there was these people that they would call at night, and they would say, "How loud can you type?" And they were men typically, and it was just odd. But you know, I think for us females, women, we have to always know who's calling us or kind of get that vibe. I think we would get that feeling of like,
How
Yeah.
loud can you type?
yeah, it's a fetish.
What?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It
okay.
is. Yeah, can you talk louder? I'll
Yeah,
talk
these-
with you right now, because you know you work in sales.
Yeah.
Right.
People do some weird stuff just to hear you.
Oh, we are past our time. We're gonna fly through this. But yeah, have safety in your mind at all times. Always know your surroundings.
Some people
If
say
so-
to keep the door closed, but I think keeping the door open is an easy exit.
Yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with, right? Some people come in, lock the door, they bring the key in with them. Always, real quick, before I gotta wrap stuff up, we're gonna fly through the next slides here. But going back to showing homes, make sure you lock all the doors. Make sure when you leave, you lock all the doors. If the lights are on, I typically leave the lights on. I leave it exactly how I found it. If the blinds are open, I leave the blinds open. If I open a blind, check the windows. If I close the blinds, you know, if the blinds are closed, I close the blinds again. So whatever I find it as, I leave as.
I showed a house and the window was open upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, does she want this? But I called her and I told her, I said, look, I like all the doors and even the window that was open
Yes,
upstairs in
yes.
the corner.
And sometimes they leave the window open on purpose, and you can always call them like, hey, just want to let you know the upstairs window was open when I got here. You want me to leave it? You want me to close it? Whatever, right? All right, so be safe. Carry your 9.
Secret agents.
Yeah. So sell homes. We don't show homes. We sell homes. Reason for buyers to hesitate. You know, there's a whole bunch. They need to sleep on it. They need to talk to someone else. Make sure all parties are there if you can. If there's 2 people going to be buying the house, make sure they're there together. If possible. Sometimes we have to do separate showings or separate meetings with them. But
if the husband isn't there and the wife
Mhm.
is it okay for them to take a video? Or
yeah. They can take a video. I do.
Sometimes the agent will put on the listing that the owner doesn't want pictures.
If there's something stated in there, don't do it. But yeah, I do videos all the time, you know, for clients. So not a big deal for me unless they state otherwise. And you can always call and ask. And typically, if that's the case, maybe you should do that. Just call and say, hey, not all parties are here. Would it be okay if we do a quick little video to send them? And then they'll tell you yes or no. Let me find out. Guidelines. Always go back to the motivation, right? Why are you guys buying this house? Why you guys want to look at this house? You know, you wanted a bigger kitchen. You wanted the backyard for the dogs. You wanted to be closer to work. Whatever the case may be. Solve their challenges, right? If they have a challenge, fix it for them. Make sure they understand it. Like, hey, you know, I know you guys wanted a bigger island. Check out this house, has a bigger island. I know the rooms are a little bit smaller, but you're gonna get that huge island for all your family events. I know you guys throw a big Christmas and you have all your family on Christmas, so I think that space would be really great. What do you guys think? Right, go back to that. We don't have time for that. We have to get through all the sellers. So same kind of chart. Price homes competitively. That's the number one thing they want from a listing agent. help them sell their, market their homes to get them sold, right? That's 20%. Time frame is always important. Price, time frame, seller's life change, their world changes, price, condition. So when we're taking a listing, right, we have to consider these two things: price and condition, right? So if the house is destroyed, we have to have that conversation with them on how to price it, right? If it's a beautiful home, we can have that conversation too, right? Same thing, having that hard conversation with your sellers. You guys show up to the house, it's a pig pen, there's things everywhere. How do we have that conversation with them? Learn those techniques, and also, what I always did, to be honest with you guys, I had my photographer do that for me. I would have the photographer give him a call, and he would send them something, or I'd have a printout and say, hey, this is what you need to have done. Put all your personal pictures away. Do this, do that. Clean up the bedroom, clean this up, make sure there's no toys on the floor, make sure there's nothing this. He has a list of things before he shows up. And so I would hand him that, kind of go over it with them, or he would go over it with them before he took the photos, right? Because we want to make sure that the photos are as best as they can get. Strong foundation, expectations, peace of mind, sorry guys, we're flying through this because we're already past our time. So fair housing law, make sure they know it's in the contract. We go over it with them, make sure they know it. Look, we're not going to do anything against the law when we're selling your home, right? We're not going to not look at an offer. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this because of race or that, anything like that. So you guys should know that. Win-win or no deal. Okay, so this is kind of like one of those things where, strategy. How are we going to strategize listing your home? That goes into price, condition, market value, right? Comps, things like that. But use your listings to leverage your business, right? Because when you have a listing, what does that mean? More eyes on you, right? And usually they're leads. They're buyers. So when you have a listing, do open houses. Leverage that listing. Yeah, market your home. Leverage it to get more buyers and more sellers, right? If I have a listing, guess what I'm doing? I'm door knocking every single house in that neighborhood, telling them I got a listing down the street. Have you ever thought of buying, or have you ever thought of selling your home? Do you know what your home is valued at in today's market? No. Would you like to know? Sure. Perfect. You get another listing in the neighborhood. Now you have 5 signs up in the neighborhood. You're the master of this neighborhood, right? And so leverage your listings as much as possible. Get it right. We want to make sure that when you put your house on the MLS, that you do the right things. We have the right documents in the sections, and we have the right information. Okay? Because there's nothing worse than uploading your listing and having it be wrong, right? And that happens. There's a lot to fill out when you're putting a listing in the MLS. There's a lot of boxes and check marks and things you have to know, and where to get the information from, and how you got the information, and uploading photos and making sure the photos align with the layout of the house. I've seen agents just throw photos in there. That's fine. But I want to actually give the people a walkthrough as they're going through the photos. So front of the house, inside, to the right, to the left, through the bathrooms, So make sure you lay it out right. And make sure you have the right information. Because it's definitely embarrassing when the client calls you when they see it go on Zillow and they say, hey, that's not right. And you're like, oh, I wonder what happened. I put it in there wrong. Okay, again, with your materials, right? Make sure that your information is right. If you are going to create flyers or post on the internet, make sure you have all your information, office information, and detailed information. That is all correct. Okay, so we cannot market a listing before it was on the MLS. Okay, we can't go and put a for sale sign up. Sorry, we can't go put a for sale sign up before we have it in the MLS. Even if we have the contract signed, it needs to be in the MLS. We have 1 day, 1 business day for that to make that happen, right? So make sure in the MLS before you start marketing. Okay, feedback. I did great. Okay. KW Cares. This is into what is it? Successful agent. Okay, we're gonna go through this quickly. Did we already go through this? This is a different one. Okay, either way, who's doing their daily success system, making their calls, notes? They're working on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the end of this class or at night to start working on this. You know what I'm saying? Like how long, we could have been doing this 10 days ago. How many more clients could we have had? How many more conversations could have had if we would have started in the beginning? Everybody always does this. They always wait till the end. They say, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. And then they don't ever do it. Right? And it's like, okay, well, we need to put this into practice. Right? We need to work. We need to make our calls. We need to go with our goals and commit to them. So tomorrow, you're going to do yours, right? Today, you're going to do yours. Okay, sure. I want to see proof. She's like, I got to go to an appointment. I got to leave. Do not call people that you're not supposed to call. Big fines. So no. Okay. We're not going to do any of that. This is, I don't even think this is part of mine anymore. Let me see. This is lead gen. All right. Do you guys have any questions moving forward? Who's your mentor? Michelle. I wouldn't say you need her approval, but I would let her know. Okay. I would go to her and just say, hey, I'm thinking about doing an open house. Do you have any advice for me? Okay. You know, can I borrow some of your signs? You know, what's best practices? What do you think about this neighborhood? Where should I put the signs? You know, go to them and just have them involved. Okay. But I mean, you could do, you're a licensed agent. I mean, you can do an open house, you can schedule one. But I would say, you know, run it by your mentor just so they have a good idea of what you're up to too. Okay. That way, because they want to help you. They want, you know, so we have to give them the knowledge what we're doing in order for them to help, right? Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, we're all done. We're all done, guys. Thank you. Oh, my QR code? I don't know. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what it was.
It was right before, no.
Oh, I gotta go the other way.
Yeah, right before.
I honestly don't even know.
The KW Care.
What is it for?
There.
That's for me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I was kidding. I didn't even know that was really for, no. I didn't know there was a test. Alright, give me a 5-star. Everybody, I know, I'm amazing. I'm probably the best one there is. But you know, no one else has. Let me grab this mic. Man, you know what's funny is I don't. All right, Zoom, we are all wrapped up. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you.
Zoom, do you guys have any questions?
No, we're good. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
No,
perfect.
thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're very welcome.
I miss you guys.
Miss you.
All right, see you soon.
All right.
Thank
see
you
ya.
very much.
All right. Bye-bye.